Okay, so yesterday we talked about the vertical line test. Now I want to get you used to what's called function notation and how to make function tables. Again, this is going to be one of those things that you're going to use throughout the entire course. So it's helpful if you get a strong understanding of what's happening here. All right. So in order to make a function table, we need a function, and whenever we have a function, we have function notation. So don't let this scare you. This is just a very general form for what one of these equations might look like. A better example might be to put some actual numbers in there just to show you that it's not always going to be all letters. Notice in this case, A and B are going to be numbers that are given in the function. Okay, and what we have here is a linear function. Other functions are going to look different, and we'll talk about those later on in the course. But this is what your function is going to look like. F of x is just a fancy way of saying a function of y, a function of x. So it's a fancy way of saying it's another variable, all right? So we could just as easily write this same function here as y is equal to 2x plus 2. F of x and y are essentially the same thing. It's just a different way of writing it. If you look at the f of x thing, basically they're saying, well, what is this function equal to when I plug in some value of x? All right, and later on down the line we'll do that. We'll take x values and plug them in, and we'll see that f of x is going to be a function of whatever the x value is you plug in there. All right, so that's the function notation. A and B are just numbers, and x are x coordinates. So notice in this case, when we're talking about different functions, our coordinate is going to be x, f of x. And I know that looks a little strange, but basically the number that we input, our input value is always going to be x, and our output is going to be f of x or y. Okay, so the f of x and the y are sort of interchangeable in terms of variables. X is input, y is output. So to me, it helps me to think of a function table as sort of like this machine, and it's a machine where you input a number, the function crunches it out, and it spits out a new number, f of x or y. So you get to choose what the x values are 99% of the time. You're going to put them in this machine, whatever the function is, you're going to crunch it out, and it's going to give you some new number, and that's going to give you a coordinate point on the graph. All right, and if we do enough of these, if we throw in enough input values of x, we can get a look at what the function is going to look like on the graph, and we'll do that later as well. So there's a little introduction to what function tables and function notations. Hang out for the next video and we'll do some examples.